Hello guys, what is up? It's your boy Spooky Noodles. I am back with another video. Today we are doing a Salvation Army find video. I used to have these numbered, but I don't remember which one I'd be on right now, so I'm just going to title it Salvation Army Finds. So, if you find this video and you're wondering what this video is about, it's about Salvation Army Finds. And we have a lot of Sean Hudson books to show you guys. Now, I'm not going to keep all these Sean Hudson books. In fact, I already have someone who wants to buy a bunch of them for like $1 a piece, I think. Or maybe more than that. I'm not really sure. But, yeah. Let me just show you some of these books, though. I'm going to keep some of them, obviously. But here's the first one. Sean Hudson's Captives. Now, this is a chunker of a book, and I doubt I'll ever be able to read it. It's a total of 433 pages long, and it looks like a great book, honestly. Here's Sean Hudson himself with his rad hair. Rock star, man. Let me read it back. The murders had been savage and apparently motiveless. Carbon copies of killings committed years earlier by men currently incarcerated in one of Britain's top maximum security prisons. How could this be? Detective Inspector Frank Gregson must find the answers which will bring him into conflict with one of those prisoners, a man framed for a murder he didn't commit, and determined to discover who framed him and why. These two obsessive men, on their private quest, will clash as they seek the truth which links Whiteley prison with London's seedy underworld of sex shows and drug barons. One wants vengeance, the other wants the truth. What they discover threatens not only their lives, but their sanity. So that's Captives. That sounds really good. I might keep this book. And look at the spine's not even broken. Alright, next one is, it has a sticker on it, which I hate. You know, I usually take the stickers off if I can, but it doesn't look like I can take the sticker off, without it ruining the book. So, Exit Wounds by Sean Hudson. And, yeah. Let me read the back. Oh my god, it's a long back. Alright, let's do this. Chased out of Jamaica by his rivals, Yardie leader Papa Ernie Coldling arrives in London determined to wipe out any competition, but his ambitions soon bring him into conflict with the capital's most powerful crime lord, William Parker. Though gang warfare seems inevitable and unlikely and uneasy alliance is formed. Meanwhile, a small-time villain, Frank Newton, gathers his men for one final robbery that will bring them a financial security they all dream of. Once the job is completed, however, they discover that their haul belongs to Parker. They realize they are done for, but then Parker makes an offer. In return for their lives, they must eliminate a merciless Yardie who is carving such a bloody swath through the city's underworld. With no choice but to agree, and constantly hunted by an obsessive and vengeful police officer, they must risk their lives to pursuit of money and freedom they so badly need. To Newton and his men, the Yardies represent the savage and ruthless vision of a future in which they themselves have no place. Their two criminal worlds are doomed to collide, and when that happens, the streets will run red with blood. So, Exit Wounds by Sean Hudson. Next, we have Dying Words by Sean Hudson. This one's a little smaller for his books. I'm not sure if this is a sequel or not, so I don't know if I should read this one. But, yeah, this one, there's a lot in here. This book comes in at 357 pages. So let's go. Best-selling biographer Megan Hunter's new book about Cassano looks set to be as successful as her previous biographies of Caravaggio and Dante. But as she embarks on a publicity tour, Megan finds her book attracting attention for the wrong reasons when her editor is found horrifically murdered. It is a classic locked room mystery. The only evidence is the destroyed remains of Megan Hunter's Cassano biography and the latest blockbuster by horror writer John Paxton. But there is nothing to link the two authors. Nothing but another murder, and another, and a secret beyond the belief of even Cassano herself. So that is Dying Words by Shaun Hutson. Next, we have an omnibus. Shaun Hutson, right here. It's the abduction, the visitation, and Come the Night. I'm not going to read all of these books. I'm just going to show you here. You guys can look up, if you want to pause, you can pause. If you want, you can look up the books themselves. I'm not going to read all those because that's a lot of stories to read. And I got a lot to go. Next one is Twisted Souls by Shaun Hutson. Imagine your worst fear. Okay, my worst fear would be, I don't know. A fear that eats away at you. Fear of death, of illness, of needles, of fire, even the feelings themselves. In London, Emma Tate's life is collapsing around her. Her job is in jeopardy. Her parents have been killed in a car crash that she blames herself for, and her husband's business is failing. Seeking respite, Emma and her husband and two of her friends hope to find some temporary peace in a country house. But Roxton is a place of strange secrets. What is the reason for the closure of the mine that had been the lifeblood of the town? What riddles are hidden in the stained glass of the church? What mysterious force is at large? Emma's desire to uncover these secrets will lead her and her companions into a nightmare from which there will be no waking, and to a meeting with their most twisted and vile desires for necessary evil. And this is Twisted Souls, 2 men, 2 women, 1 nightmare. And this book comes in at 320 pages. Next, we have Heathen by Shaun Hutson. And I have a different cover coming, and I've had this cover about 3 times, so yeah. So here we go. Sometimes death is just the beginning. Chris Ward's twisted car wreck not only left Donna a young widow, but the victim of Chris's superstitious past. Slowly, the mysteries behind his hidden life emerge and confront Donna with the corpse of a beautiful woman, the sinister strangers stalking Chris's funeral, the ghastly intruders attacking her house, and more. For it is the fate of Donna to become haunted and hunted, as she discovers a secret that spans nations, meets a man last seen in a centuries-old painting, and becomes the target of inhuman crimes and hideous evil forces as old as time. Heathen by Shaun Hutson. All right. Next, we have, and there's another picture with him as a rock star. We have Renegades by Shaun Hutson. This book comes in at a total of a whopping 434 pages. So yeah, let's read it. Immortality, the ultimate secret. David and Laura Callahan looked others before them throughout the ages, will stop at nothing in their perverted quest for it. But for Callahan, a multi-millionaire gun runner, eternal life has never looked less likely. He is being hunted both by a renegade group of hired killers and by 2 British counter-terrorists, and nobody knows who hired the killers or why. In a race against time, a trial of violence and terror leads from a desecrated church in France to London, and on to strife-torn Ireland, where modern terrorism battles against ancient powers and a terrible secret is revealed. A long-forgotten secret that will threaten the lives and souls of those involved. And when the final confrontation comes, the living will envy the dead. Renegades by Shaun Hutson. Dun dun dun. So there we go. Next we have Warhol's Prophecy by Shaun Hutson. Does this have a picture of him on the back? Nope. So this is a long synopsis. Let me see how many pages this sucker is. They have a quote from Metallica in the back here. It says, "Just when all seems fine and I'm pain-free, you jab another pin and jab another pin in me." Metallica. Let's see here. it comes in at 541 pages, so that's a long book. When 5-year-old Becky goes missing in a crowded shopping center, it seems her mother's worst nightmare has come true. But Haley Gibson's nightmares are only just the beginning. After the child is recovered by Adam Walker, Haley finds her gratitude to him turning to something warmer. With her marriage close to ruins, she is even tempted to begin an affair with this attractive stranger. Besides, Haley wants revenge against her husband and his mistress. Revenge that could be contrived with the help of a willing accomplice. And Walker seems entranced by her, only too happy to please. But what if he has his own agenda? Then, as she wisely tries to end their budding relationship, Haley begins to wonder if Walker could be responsible for various acts of minor vandalism committed against her home and family. Or is someone else seeking revenge? Someone else she has not yet encountered. When petty harassment becomes too open violence, Haley finds herself caught in a spiraling vortex of suffering and death. And the truth, when it comes, will be shattering, forcing her to make the most horrendous decision of her life. And that is Warhol's Prophecy. Next we have Compulsion by Shaun Hutson. A gang of kids from an overcrowded council estate is running riot on the streets. Break-ins, car theft, vandalism. These underage criminals know they can continue without fear of lawful retribution. The neighborhood police are at their wits, and while terror, hatred, and frustration have become part of life for local residents, then, just when it seems things can get no worse, the gang turns its full attention on Shelby House, a nearby old people's home. The supervisor, Veronica Ronnie Porter, her 2 staff, and the 9 elderly residents in their care become sitting targets as the youngsters mount a hate campaign involving abusive mail, obscene graffiti, and shattered windows. As their intimidation escalates, Ronnie's own father is dragged into the horror when, disturbed by a burglar inside his own home, he is mercilessly beaten into a coma. Apparently helpless and unable to count on police protection, Shelby's House senior citizens make a fateful decision, summoning up all the courage and guile. These seemingly easy victims plan their own campaign of retribution. And when the young thugs launch their most violent attack yet, Ronnie finds herself trapped between 2 equally determined and ruthless forces, in a conflict escalating towards an unimaginable and nightmarish outcome. Dude, these synopsises sound rad as fuck. Next we have Last Rites by Shaun Hutson. It says, be careful what you wish for. And this book is a total of 338 pages. Almost beaten to death by a gang of violent teenagers, schoolmaster Peter Mason wants nothing more than to escape the simmering violence of London, his broken marriage, and the memories of his daughter's death. The perfect chance comes... Sorry about that. Dog intervened and started barking, so I will start off where I left off. The perfect chance comes in the form of a position at a prestigious boarding school in the heart of the Buckinghamshire countryside. But the past is always lurking in the background, not just his own past, but that of the school and its former staff. Mason becomes obsessed with discovering what became of the predecessor. The man's mysterious disappearance remains unexplained, leaving a chilling legacy behind. Mason finds that there are strange events occurring at the school, violent and sinister events that have happened before and will if he cannot stop them from happening again. From the seething urban savagery of a big city, Mason finds himself trapped in a violence that stretches back centuries, and now it threatens to erupt once more as a force of unimaginable evil seeks to reach across the years to strike any who oppose it. And that is Last Rites by Shaun Hudson. Next, we have Shaun Hudson's Necessary Evil. They told us monsters didn't exist. They lied. It was to be a routine job. Matt Franklin and his companions would rob the Secure Corps van. Simple. Until the job turned into a nightmare. 2 of them are shot dead and another fatally wounded. But who is trying to wipe them out? Killing not just them, but their families too. How are the government and the British Army implicated? What lurks within the secret research establishment in the English countryside? Franklin has to find out. Finally, the only one left alive, he tries to begin the prey and he tires of being the prey and decides to become the hunter. Aided by a detective, Franklin becomes embroiled in a series of events that lead to a terrifying climax in the London Underground, where he comes face to face with the answers he has sought. Like all of us, Franklin was told monsters didn't exist. He's about to find out that someone was lying. Next is Epitaph by Shaun Hudson. This is a good-sized book. This one comes in at 342 pages. This was no dream. He sucked in a deep breath, a breath full of strange smell that he couldn't identify. He trailed his hands across the satin beneath him to both sides of him, and when he raised his hands above him too. He knew why it was so dark. He understood why he could see nothing. He realized why he was lying down. Frank and Gina Hackett think you've killed their daughter, and they want a confession. If you say you did it, they'll kill you. If you say you didn't, they'll leave you to die. So how do you stop the next words you say from being your last? It seems hopeless, but there is one way out. What would you do? Epitaph by Shaun Hudson. Next, we have Assassin by Shaun Hudson. And that is a dope cover right there. The little gross hand with the revolver. London was in the grip of its bloodiest bout of gang warfare for 2 years. Shootings in the street, kidnappings, and car chases. Until now, Frank Harrison had ruled gangland, but it looked as if that reign was going to end in blood. Someone was out to destroy him and his men, to wipe out everyone associated with him. But who? Harrison had to know, and into this world of violence, corruption, madness, and death came the assassin. A force more powerful than vengeance, more lethal than a lorry full of high-velocity weapons, and more terrifying than any nightmare. That's Assassin by Shaun Hudson. Next, we have Death Day, a terrifying novel of unimaginable evil. Beware the golden disc. It brings decay, destruction, and death. 400 years ago, a woman died in agony to keep its secret and went to her grave with it hung around her neck. Now, in a desolate graveyard, a workman has unearthed the amulet by chance and decides to keep it, his first mistake. The night the village of Medfords was plunged into a nightmare of terror by the discovery of a double murder and mutilation. The first in a series of shocking killings. Wherever the amulet is found, ancient evil, hideous, powerful, and vile is once again reborn. Next, we have Deadhead by Shaun Hudson. A sickening series of murders in London have left 5 homeless kids mutilated, and the capital is in shock. Nick Ryan, private detective, has seen the reports, but it's not his problem. No one's paying him to find the killers. He doesn't care. In fact, since his wife and daughter left him, he hasn't cared about a lot, least of all himself. Suddenly, there's another victim. She's not homeless. She's so far And so far she's not dead. But when Ryan sees the videotape of his own daughter and her masked male captors, he begins a desperate, obsessive hunt for her, and he will not stop. He can't. Time is running out for both of them. Deadhead. Okay, next we have Nemesis by Sean Hudson. Sue and Jack Hackett are contemplating the ruins of their marriage. The brutal murder of their young daughter has brought an already strained relationship to a breaking point. And to try to salvage their lives, they retreat to the small, peaceful town of Hickston. But Hickston isn't peaceful anymore. It's being torn apart by a series of horrific, unexplained murders, and it holds a fateful 50 years of old secrets. A 50-year-old secret. A secret with such appalling consequences that it is supposed to have died during the war. It didn't. And that is all the Sean Hudson books, I believe. And then next we have a collection. I'm just going to show these all at once. We got the Stephen King collection of The Green Mile. The Green Mile, if you don't know, I've never read it, but it's a series, and I have all 6 of them now. I could have just bought the full book, but this was cheaper, so I'm not going to tell you what it's about because I don't want to read, I'm not going to read them all to you because they ruined it for me. So, but this is The Green Mile by Stephen King, and that is all I got from Salvation Army. As you know, today is a holiday, so happy holidays to all of you who are celebrating right now. I am personally celebrating Christmas, or Xmas, and even though I'm not a big believer in the afterlife and stuff, and I don't really know if Jesus existed or not, that's here nor there, but I did want to say I'm very happy for everyone who's having a happy holiday. I celebrate Christmas not because of the religious side of things, but because I like giving presents to my family. So there you go. Today I did get some good presents. I got these smart glasses. I got a video game called The Quarry. I got some boots. I got a hoodie. And I got some other things. So, yes. Yesterday my Lions lost. These guys, they lost badly, in poor fashion, in Lions fashion, if you will. I'm hoping that they can pick it up, next week. I'm going to the game, so I might show you guys a video of me at the game. I'll be seeing the Lions face off against the Bears at Ford Field. So I'm really hoping that the Lions win that game, because if they want any chance of making the playoffs, then they need to win that game. But, it's against the Bears, who have a good run game, and we have a bad run defense, so we'll see how that goes. But, yeah, I just wanted to show off my Sean Hudson collection I got. I'm going to probably sell most of them. I'm going to keep a few of them, though, the few of them that sound good to me, and, yeah. But that's all I had to talk about. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you have a spooky night. I'll catch you in the next video. Deuces.